On today's generation, lots of gadgets has been produced by different industries and companies. These things are enjoyed by everyone, especially the teenagers. They spend most of their time surfing on internet and playing online games. As a result, children and their family and friends was now facing a barrier that hinders their quality time with each other. And you know what's the worst? It is we are already slowly lacking on maintaining the customs and values of culture that should be passed generation to generation. This includes our Filipino traditional games, which is our theme for today's video. Have you ever heard about the game Patintero? Or do you even know how to play Patintero? If not, then this video is the right one for you. Patintero is derived from the Spanish word tente, meaning tent or ink. It is in reference to the drawn lines. Another name for it is tubigan, tubiganay, or tubig-tubig, due to the fact that the grid lines are also commonly drawn by wetting the ground with water. Other names for the game includes lumplupas in Igorot, sabatan in Kapampangan, sinibon in Ilocano, antadlas or biros-biros in Eastern Visayas. Patintero is a traditional Filipino children's game also known as harangang taga or tubigan. It is one of the most widely played game in the country. The materials needed is a chalk or a paint and the space for the game. It requires 2 teams with at least 5 players on each side. The objective of the game is to block the players from the opposing team from passing. Its officials is the scorer, timekeeper, and 5 linesmen. But how do we exactly play the game Patintero? First, draw a massive rectangle on the ground using chalk for clarity and divide it into smaller rectangles depending on the number of players. The Patintero drawing involves 6 to 8 smaller rectangles. Second, the players should form 2 teams with an equal number of players where one team plays defensive and guards the other team against passing the lines. The 2 teams mix up the guards and the runners. Third, the guards assign a player to the lateral line in the middle of the rectangle and the other players on each horizontal line. Fourth, the objective of the runners is to get across to one end of the big rectangle and back without being touched or tagged by a guard. Rules of the game. During the game, the guards should ensure they have both feet on the ground before tagging their opponent. Otherwise, it will not count. Second, once a runner is tagged, the player gets out of the game. If a player makes it across the big rectangle and back without being touched with the fingers, then they earn a point. And last, once all the runners of a team has been tagged, it's a game over. Have you ever wondered if we can acquire personal developmental benefits by just playing this kind of game? If you did, the answer to your question is a big yes. Why? Because Patintero actually helps in developing our gross motor skills, hand-eye coordination, and strategic thinking. And that's not all. The skills that are practiced in this game is safe tagging, agility, evasion, balance, and spatial awareness. Thus, this tells us that Patintero is not just an enjoyment provider, but can also be considered as a developmental practice. So let us not forget this game, but rather preserve it as a part of our Filipino customs.